Hey guys, it's me, it's Francis Baby. I'm here with a brand new video. As you can see from my background, about the new Boom Studios comic book by Amy Jo Johnson, The Return. So, guys, as we all know, Amy Jo Johnson has partnered up with Boom Studios to create a brand new comic book. Uh, as you know, her views and it's her story. I believe she did it with her boyfriend, and it's been little snippets here and there have already come out. I'm not sure if the comic book is completely out yet. I know that a lot of people have been commenting about it, and she's been really uh gracious with the fans and just giving us a lot of feedback about what's going on. And I wanted to just take this time because I want to say how important it is that we have an actual Power Ranger, an actual actress, someone that actually started the show here in the United States, creating something for us, the fans. She said she wanted it to be a great like tribute and a great addition to the 30th anniversary, maybe like an homage to Power Rangers, especially on the 30th anniversary of the show here in the United States. There's so much, right, going on about Amy Jo and everything to do with, let's say, her, right? And I just wanted to talk to you guys about my experience with her. Kimberly was my favorite when she first came. Who didn't like Kimberly, right? Pink, and she was girly and very, flirty, very, very nice. But don't get me wrong, I was Trini. I love Trini. Trini was that like other side of me, right? That she was smart, she was strong. But Amy Jo was a staple for a lot of us who, I mean, I remember we used to play, you know, uh Power Rangers, and I always wanted to be Kimberly. Just because I think more so once Tommy came, right? I was like, I want to be Kimberly, because everybody loved the Tommy and Kimberly relationship. But when I started going to shows, I remember I met everyone. When Amy Jo first came on the scene, it was, great. Like her lines were great. Everyone's so excited. But, there was that thing about her being very anxious and having to go through so many things past prior to going to concert. She was a little apprehensive. So I remember when I met her, um, I can tell you she was a little standoffish. And when I say not rude, when I say standoffish, she was just like, hi, very, really about business. First of all, her and Jason had this chemistry. And when I say chemistry, I don't want to say like romantic chemistry, but they were very good together. I don't know if how I explain that, just that they played off a lot with each other. They really went ahead and like they would mess around with each other. She would poke fun at him, he would poke fun at her. And it was very entertaining. And you can tell that they really cared for each other and that it wasn't, they were friends. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, just two coworkers. No, you could tell that they were friends. When I met her, and Jason introduced me as one of his assistants, she was a little standoffish, but not rude. She was, very about the business, very, I can tell, like, guys, I have anxiety, right? So I have this thing that when I have anxiety, I bite my fingers. Like I'm literally, and my sister and everyone's like, stop biting your fingers. And I can tell she had like, not like you could tell like playing with her hands, very, very fidgety. And I understand that, anxiety does that to you. And I remember there were a few shows that Jason did with her that we were together. And I would go up to her, you okay? Do you need anything? I always had like snacks for Jason and I would offer her. And we usually when Jason and her did a show, they would be together. So I can tell you that with time, she became very friendly, such a nice woman. You know what I mean? I remember there was a time that I don't remember what show it was, to be honest. I wanna say Kentucky, Lexington, but it wasn't Lexington. It wasn't Lexington. I wanna say it was Fanboy Expo. Um, Jason, it was like a snowstorm, and, Jason left before me. His plane left before me, and I was just walking around in the airport, and she saw me. I believe she was with her sister. I know I was walking, and she stopped me. She's like, "Hey, Francis," and I was like, "Hey." She's like, "Oh, what's going on?" I was like, "Oh, I missed my flight, or my flight's delayed due to the storm." And Jason just left, and she's like, "Oh, well, come sit with us. Come stay with us. Sit here. We're not going. We're gonna stay here for a little bit. Our flight doesn't leave too late. So if you wanna, stay here." And I found that so nice, you know what I mean? Because we've done shows. Maybe this was like the second, third show we've done they had done together, and like she really didn't her lines were busy and Jason's lines were busy. So when we're at shows, we really don't have time to like party, like socialize. So it was, her doing that was so gracious, so nice. I didn't think, you know what I mean? I don't remember if I stayed because I think I was trying to figure out my flight situation because I didn't want to be stuck in the airport. And then she was very, very nice. Uh, because there's the reason why I say this story, right, is because there's this stigma from a lot of people that she's all about money and that she only uses the fans. And um, some people I've even seen people say she's not so nice. And total opposite in my experience. I've seen her, go out away with the fans. I've seen her interact with Jason, interact with David Yost. So I think it's not. I definitely think she's a wonderful lady. I don't think that what people are saying that she's rude or mean. I don't think that's it. We all have bad days, right? I remember there was a show, Planet City Comic Con, and Jason and her were doing a Q&A, and Jason got sick. I think it was a comic in in that show. I already forgot what the name I said, but um and he got sick and she was so worried about her. People need to realize that sometimes at conventions things go wrong, right? And you're human. She's human, Jason was human, all of them are human, right? And things can happen and they might have an off day, but try again. Unless someone is like blatantly disrespectful and blatantly like not showing you respect, then that's different. But I think she's a great lady.